And good morning, dear ones. Dr. Robert with you over here.
And I guess Dr. Bill with you over here.
Yes, no guessing about it. You are.
Yeah.
and
I,
this
I I don't
is
usually call myself doctor. I let other people do that.
and this is New Thought Today. Or no, this is Ministers Talking Shit on Friday
Oh,
morning.
you scared me for a second. I wasn't ready to speak about like things that are responsible and
Important.
and important and to present myself well and speak well on behalf of New Thought. Phew.
Yes. Yes. This is the show where we get to talk about whatever we want to talk about, from politics to sports to El Nino. El Nino's on the docket today. But first off, those that are normally recognize that Dr. Bill is not Reverend Elzia.
I am not.
Rev Z is stuck in Chicago. His flight was canceled due to severe weather storm predictions, and he ended up spending an extra day. He's spending the day in Chicago. For all of those affected, two tornadoes hit in southern Illinois late last night. Lots of communities affected, but no deaths reported. So good news there. And it people say that the weatherman's always wrong, but it definitely feels like our predictions. Maybe the weather guys are playing Kalshi. I don't know, but
Oh, jeez.
weather
We're not
predictions.
talking about corruption yet.
Oh yes. So glad to know nobody was hurt in those, and Dr. Bill graciously said, "Sure, I'll come on the show," and sitting in for Rev Z today. So welcome, sir. Good to see you.
It is good to see you as always. I've been going to meetings this week that you were not in attendance at and voluntolding you for things, which we'll talk about later.
Wonderful. All right. So you went to meetings without me? Wait, oh, that's not appropriate. Oh,
Divide and conquer.
there we
Yeah,
go.
the word for me for this week is corruption. I
Yeah.
mean, it is just so nuts to see the level and the degree to which all of the corruption is happening. And then also the comedic way that when corrupt people try to do corrupt things, they don't have the detail orientation to make sure that they work properly. So, like, Jared Kushner has gotten, I think, the Qatari government to go in big on his resort in Albania on this new pristine island that they discovered. And as soon as they did that, the Albanian people said, "No, you didn't discover that. That's been there forever. That's a national treasure. And no, you're not going to build the thing." And suddenly his money is all tied up in this thing that he thought was a lock because because his father-in-law was going to push it through. So
I think the only thing his father-in-law can push through right now is a mid-afternoon nap. But even that seems to be a challenge. So
thank you for not making it the potty joke.
yes, I purposefully did that just for you. So let's talk about that. I want to talk about the Knicks. Go
Okay.
Knicks.
Go Knicks. There you go. That's
I
the
mean,
biggest comeback in history. Yeah, there you go.
29 points down to win with 1 second left in game 4. Gotta love the Knicks. Gotta love the fact that they just kind of sat the bench for game 3 so that, they didn't win in front of Donald. Um, More pictures surfaced of him falling asleep in during the game. How do you fall asleep during a Knicks game? Come on. Like, seriously.
It's the same way that somebody would be able to fall asleep while like attacking a foreign country for no reason. There's a bunch of that's going on. So, and I noticed that it was good that Donald Trump was in the royal limousine, which is bulletproof and probably soundproof, so that he didn't have to hear his fans in New York welcome him.
Yes.
As I've referred to it, more booze than a frat party.
Exactly. Uh, Lots of booing the other night, not only in Madison Square Garden, but on the streets of New York. And I've seen some editorials right now that say that's the real problem: is the man is unwilling to recognize what's really happening in the world. or if he does, he's definitely unwilling to admit to it, own up to it, take ownership of this. New York was really not happy that he forced his way into this game. It disrupted traffic, it disrupted pre-parties, it disrupted watch parties. It forced fans into much longer lines and many more body searches than they're used to. I mean, it's New York. You're used to getting felt up on the way into the garden, but not in this manner. And
not by the Secret Service.
Not by the Secret Service. And then, to fall asleep in the midst of it. But more importantly, to walk away, I think, and get on Truth Social in the middle of the morning and say it was a great success, that people loved him, that it was it was all about him. It's every night I kind of lie there slightly awake thinking, how is it that this is still happening? How is it that the American people are allowing this level of corruption to continue?
I'm going to tie this back to New Thought for just a second.
Sure.
And it's the notion that as practitioners of this New Thought teaching, we can look a fact in the face and know something better. And unfortunately, that's what Donald Trump is doing. He's looking facts in the face and he's claiming something different. And he's saying it over and over and over again. And he's not acknowledging the facts that are in front of him, which, on the one hand, it seems to be working for him. He talked himself out of 2 federal indictments on his way into office the second time. And it is a huge misuse of the creative law, but that's like the law works. And at some point, people are going to stop going along with it, and it's going to stop working. And I can hardly wait, but we get to bide our time for that.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, he's going to sell Trump steaks out of the trunk of the presidential limousine.
Oh, they're very good steaks, trust me.
Oh yeah, these are the best steaks, and there's been no hoof and mouth disease with these cattle, and all the other things that he says that they don't have, which they do.
I like how the White House labeled it a very long blink. His nap at the garden, they described it as a very long blink. I'm like, if you blink much longer, they're going to pronounce your ass dead. Somebody's going to come by and do a little,
At some point, the people who are surrounding him and saying yes are going to have to deal with their lives after the Trump administration, and that'll be interesting.
Yeah,
that'll be interesting to see what happens, because there are some folks who will have a long memory.
We, if anything, the shortening of our attention span has lengthened the memory when people really care about it. So this is that time of the show, folks, where we say we want to see the Epstein files. Because we have a long memory and we want to see what really happened. But all right, enough of this. How about congratulations to Taylor Swift on the eve of her rumored marriage to a football player that need not be named, but everybody seems to always want to. She was named, she was inducted into the Songwriters Hall of Fame last night. The youngest female artist ever and the second youngest artist ever to be inducted into the Songwriters Hall of Fame. It was a tearful affair, and she thanked her family for moving. I didn't know this about her. When she was 14, her family moved from Pennsylvania to Nashville so that she could be at the center of the songwriters universe. And no word on whether that actually had any effect on her songwriting ability, but obviously.
Well, it seems to have paid off.
It does, yes.
And Pennsylvania misses her, but still claims her.
There we go. Yes. I don't know. Do you know what part of Philadelphia or what part of Pennsylvania she was from?
Yeah, the suburbs north of Philly.
North
I'm
of.
pretty sure.
Okay.
But yeah, it's not like it's not
So
like the president's house on Independence Mall. We all know where that is.
so Allentown,
Ish, yeah,
ish,
Easton maybe.
East. There we go. I have family in Easton. I would love it for it to be Easton. That would be really good.
And I might be completely wrong. I might be making that up. Anybody who's watching the show wants to Google that and fact check me, go ahead and put it in the comments.
Yes.
Bring it on. And by the way, since
Bonus.
I'm the one with a microphone, I can just claim that it's Easton. And even if somebody says, no, it was Lancaster, no, that's wrong. It was Easton.
It was Easton.
Because I have learned from the commander in chief that you can do that.
It was a very good night. So, yes, feel free, folks. Bonus points today. 10 extra bonus points in your New Thought Media Network account if you can tell us where Taylor Swift lived prior to moving to Nashville. Regardless, congratulations to Taylor. And, it's nice to have something to talk about when it comes to Taylor Swift other than her boyfriend and the Eras tour.
Yeah. Yeah. What?
Reading.
Reading?
Reading. Oh,
Reading.
there we go.
And that was that was the executive director of the Philadelphia Songwriters Project
There we go. Okay.
coming into my office to correct me. But I still think it was Easton.
Right. Yeah. So, let's move from the East Coast to the West Coast. A known, I got to say, Bill, I always thought the whole idea of the Cannonball Run was just a movie plot. I never actually realized it was real, and the movie was just an adaptation of real life. I always just thought it was some writer's fantasy dream. For those that may not know, a Cannonball Run is traditionally a cross-country, high-speed journey from New York City to California. There are records for various types of vehicles that you can do it in, and a gentleman and his sidekick were arrested in Colorado earlier this week for doing 130 miles an hour in a 65 on I-25. And this is the only reason I know about the story is because they claim he was on a Cannonball Run. Now, my understanding is most cannonballs don't actually go through Colorado, but I guess there's a route you can do it that way. And the car was equipped with police jammers or radar jammers and all kinds of what they actually arrested the man for was not the speeding, it was for having an illegally modified vehicle.
It's nice to know that people have this amount of time and resource
Yes.
to pursue a Cannonball Run. It must have been a gasoline powered car, so it was expensive too.
It was a gasoline powered car. It was expensive. My understanding is there's a whole subculture of this now. Great YouTube channel called VinWiki, where people that do this do interviews about their illegal exploits, which immediately makes them known to the police. So when the police see your car, they know what's going on. But 30 to 35 hours, depending on the type of vehicle you want to drive. And there's records for best run in a pickup truck, best run in a police car, best run in a family sedan.
I'm sure there are motorcycles in there too.
I'm sure there's got to be a record for motors. That must be really low. I don't know. I've never ridden a motorcycle long distance, so I don't know if you could do 30 hours straight on a motorcycle. Somebody out there can know.
I'm sure somebody can do it. This is 330 million people. There's got to be somebody who's willing to try that. And thank God I don't have to. Thank God I don't have to. Hey, we got canceled again this week. It's really sad. As the Defense Department whittled down, I think they're listed, 130
Oh, yes.
religions, and threw out the ones that aren't necessary. So I think we're once again other.
I think they threw out the ones they don't believe in. I wouldn't put it as not necessary. They don't believe it. That aren't.
Yeah, they just wanted to make it easier. And of the 33 that made the cut, 22 of them are Christian. It's like, really?
Well, that fits their mold.
Yep.
That fits their mold. So,
and none of these people is ever taking their own religion off the top of the list. The stuff that I believe in, my pastor's been saying, it's not worth putting it on the list for everybody else to be believing in.
Correct. It's hard to be a white nationalist if you agree with the Southern Baptist if you don't agree with the Southern Baptist Convention.
Yeah, well, let's reaffirm that women can't be in leadership positions.
Exactly. That is what the Southern Baptist Convention did this week, folks. They, in a 3-1 vote, they voted to kick out any organization that affirms a female pastor or leadership or even speaks from the pulpit. If you let a woman pray from the pulpit, I guess that's heresy now.
I was in Canada last week, and we went to the Cathedral of Notre Dame in Montreal. It was beautiful. It was gorgeous. It was wonderful, and it's named after a woman. It's Mother Mary, the Holy Mother. It's like, really? But she couldn't talk?
But no.
Goodness. So the war in the Middle East is over again. No, wait, I'm sorry. This is it's an even numbered hour.
Yes, that we'll have to be on. Donald Trump's announcing that we are very, very close to an agreement with Iran. And Iran has said, maybe so, maybe not. We'll have to see. It's, again, here's that same kind of, Trump will say whatever it is he thinks people want to hear, or whatever it is he wants to hear.
He'll say whatever it is that he wants to capture people's attention with now, so that they're not talking about the Epstein files.
Oh, yes, that's right. The Epstein files.
I love the reporting that came out this week about when Donald Trump was refusing to talk about the Epstein files and just insisting that they be buried like a year ago. That the meetings that his staff was having without him, they were having without him in the Situation Room.
Well, that's the last place you would find him.
They were having meetings about the Epstein files in the Situation Room without the commander-in-chief. Did we already talk about corruption? I think we did.
Briefly, yes.
Okay, well, this keeps on coming up again. Like, I don't think that's what the Situation Room is for. I think that's where you're supposed to follow the capture of Osama bin Laden, rather than how to get the boss off the hook from the Epstein files.
It's the only place that's safe right now because of the ballroom construction. Anywhere else is not safe, so is what I've been hearing. But it makes sense. The Situation Room is the last place that the president would be because you can't get a Wi-Fi signal. And if he can't be on Truth Social telling us what to believe and what to pay attention to, and thank you for your attention to this message, then why would he, so no, he's not going to be in the Situation Room. That sounds like the perfect place to talk about the man behind his back. But we have a new reflecting pool.
Is it finished?
It is finished. They have installed a hydro bubbler and immediately had to scrape the bottom of the pool for algae. Now, of course, they have an excuse for that. That's algae that was left over in the piping system.
Oh yeah, it's Biden algae.
So it's Biden's algae, exactly. Obama and Biden algae. And I've seen the satellite photos. There's one of those things where you can slide back and forth and look at the satellite photos. And it's not just, so we realize now where some of the $14 million went, because it's not just into the reflecting pool. For those that may not remember, Trump promised about a $1.4 million price tag to do this project. It ballooned to well over $14 million in a no-bid contract to someone that had no experience, no government contract experience whatsoever. But, I guess he did a good job on a swimming pool for Trump somewhere in the world. And so they forgot to clean the pipes before they refilled the pool. But they put in a hydro bubbler, which is supposed to help with the algae problem. And you can see from the satellite photos, there's a whole lot more concrete around the Lincoln Monument side, I think it is. The Washington Monument side. A whole lot more concrete, a whole lot more patio space. And so some of this money didn't go just into the reflecting pool. It went into a concrete patio.
So I'm having a little bit of a problem with the notion of a hydro bubbler. I mean, I understand that a hydro bubbler is wonderful for reducing algae, but I'm pretty sure the name of the thing is reflecting pool, and in order to reflect, it kind of needs to have a flat surface, which would be kind of undermined by the hydro bubbler. Yes?
Yeah, that's what I would think.
Okay, now I'm not a swimming pool expert. I'm not a government contractor, and nor have I played one on TV. But really? Oh. Is the blue pretty? I haven't seen the pictures.
No, it looks rather dull. It doesn't have that bright, bubblegum kind of blue you expect from swimming pools.
Well, that's actually good.
Yes, they call it American flag blue. It is a darker blue. Some people, some that like to kiss the president's ass, say it's amazing, and others say, it's it's a little more blue than the green now. But did not look entirely overly exciting to me. Not sure. I don't want to say that the project wasn't necessary. It may very well have been necessary. I don't know for sure. But to me, it's another one of these self-aggrandizing projects that Trump loves so much that I'm surprised they didn't paint Trump 2028 on the bottom of the pool. That's what I was expecting. A big Trump 2028 logo.
Would have spelled it wrong. Here's a little intellectual exercise to do, because we all, some point along the year, get to pay our taxes. And I want you to think just for a second about how much you paid in taxes this year. And then think about the portion of that $12 million that you paid for entirely. All of your taxes went to a portion of that stupid vanity project. That's the way I like to think of these. Yeah. Every time we shoot a $6 million missile at the Iranians to accomplish something that I still don't know what is like, well, there goes my entire year's worth of withholding.
Yes.
Go on. I mean, I used to have fun playing that game, because we bought a little, in one of my 401ks, we got to direct where the funds went. So I decided that since we liked going to Disney, we'd put them into Disney. And so we'd go to Disney World with the kids back when we were living in Florida. We'd be sitting in the restaurant and say, we own a fraction of one of these chairs in the restaurant.
Yes.
That's it.
And I just got a splinter in my finger, so I think
it's my splinter.
It's exactly. I'm taking my portion home with me. That's good. I like that one.
I want to keep on with stocks because the SpaceX initial public offering is today. They're taking the company public, and it's a big deal just because it's the biggest IPO in history.
Yes.
So many billions of dollars, which will, on paper, make Elon Musk the world's first trillionaire. I mean, is somebody ever going to notice that the difference between Elon Musk and a Bond villain is that they have a good theme song in the Bond movies?
I think that the main difference is that Elon thinks he's supposed to marry all the women he sleeps with versus a Bond villain that just, sleeps with them. Um, but yeah, he has a unique knack of convincing people that he should be able to double and triple dip and sell his own companies back to himself and somehow makes money in it all.
Yeah.
And I've gotten to a point where early on you would hear a quote by Elon, and it would sort of make some business sense. And I remember when some of his quotes would actually sound kind of metaphysical, like, "Hey, wow, who is?" And this was before I understood who he was and really came to know what he was doing in the world. And back when he was just kind of, well, before he had gender affirming surgery, let's put it that way. And but now his name is, well, we've mentioned corruption today already. His name to me just is, it's, you hear Elon and I immediately think corruption. That something's dirty and something's rotten, and he's doing something to make himself rich at the cost of the people of the planet at this point. Not just a country, but the people of the planet.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'd love to have him demonstrate how we can go to Mars by being on the first ship. That'd help. Leaving that alone just for a second. You remember the debacle when he backed himself into the corner, had to pay $44 billion to buy Twitter,
Mm-hmm.
which it turns out it wasn't worth. And because he's mismanaged it to the extent that he has, their ad revenues have tanked, and people are not particularly paying attention, although some people still have to be on it. You know what he did with Twitter? How he made money on Twitter? He rolled it into this whole SpaceX thing. SpaceX now owns Twitter.
Which means you own Twitter.
Which means I'm going to have to own Twitter, yeah, because they're also forcing their way into the stock indexes, like the S&P 500 and the Dow and the rest of those. It's supposed to take a year before that happens, lets the price settle out, but they're fast tracking it. And that means because it's a huge valuation that they're going to get into the index funds immediately, and then all of the companies that have their own index funds that match the S&P 500 or the Dow or the whichever ones they have are going to have to buy a lot of SpaceX stock, and then it's going to get bought on behalf of individual investors. So I wanted to own some Disney. I do not want to own some SpaceX, but now I don't have a choice.
Yep. And if this is all starting to sound a little bit scammy, folks, my interpretation is that's because it is.
So the government has this big contract with Dell computers.
Yep.
And coincidentally, right before announcing the big deal with Dell, Donald Trump bought a whole bunch of stock in Dell Computer. See, if you do enough horrible, corrupt things all at the same time, only a few of them get pointed out.
Right.
There will be a UFC match on Flag Day on Sunday on the White House lawn. And the company, to run it, UFC said, we're going to do this for free. We're not going to charge you anything to build the facility, to do any of that. You don't have to pay anything. This is on us. You know how much front row seats cost?
more than a World Cup seat?
$1 million.
Oh my God. That's more than a World Cup seat.
It's more than a World Cup seat. But yeah, and of course, who gets to keep that?
Yeah.
The corrupt participants in all of this. So there was a World Cup game yesterday
Oh,
in
there.
Mexico with 10,000 empty seats.
That makes sense. Yeah. That actually makes a lot of sense. I've been following this World Cup controversy a little bit, not an awful lot, but a little bit. And the World Cup comes out, FIFA comes out looking like a Bond villain in this one. Let's keep the theme going this morning. Um, they're overpricing their tickets, and they've turned out to be the only legal scalper of their tickets as well. So it's illegal for anybody to resell a ticket to a World Cup game other than through the FIFA system. And so they're keeping the prices high because of predatory pricing, and then keeping the resale value even higher. You shouldn't have to mortgage your home to go see a soccer match.
I'm kind of on board with that. And I think that the final game, which is in Dallas on the 19th of July, will be interesting. The game that I'm particularly looking forward to, if it happens, is the second round game between the United States and Iran.
Yes.
Now, it's
Because,
not locked yet. They have to do the first round games first.
but a number of Iranian stories are emerging that a number of Iranian soccer players have been denied visas and or been detained at the border for extended amounts of time. So, I mean, yeah, let's go America. Let's just lock up the competition. That's a pretty sure way to get through to the second round or the third round is we'll just keep the competition out.
Yeah, and of course, it's not just the players. There's a ref who wasn't allowed into the country, but it's also the support people who travel with a professional sports team.
Right.
It's like they have to get visas to get into the country as well. So a lot of them are dealing with troubles. It's like this is not the right year for the United States to be hosting World Cup matches because we're just not treating the world very nicely.
And yes, and therefore, why would we expect them to come here? When we tell people you're not welcome here, why would we expect them to come here and spend inflated prices on tickets to a football match? Um, I want to know what the Kalshi over under is on attendance for that final game. I'm sure somebody's betting on the attendance number on these prediction markets for that final game. It's or maybe it's the over under on the empty seats. I don't know.
Well, you can make up the bet. You decide what you think it's going to be, and then you'll find out. But have have you had a problem since the beginning with prediction markets?
Yes,
Okay,
from the
me
very
too.
first time I heard about them, I thought this is not a smart idea. Um, it reminds me of the Mel Brooks scene from Blazing Saddles. Gentlemen, gentlemen, this bill will be a giant step forward for the insane gambler.
Yeah.
It has felt like from the very beginning that we have created an unregulated way for those that are addicted to gambling to deepen their addiction. And I did hear an ad the other day for Kalshi that now they're inundating my YouTube feed. I went and said the name. I don't play it and I'm not on it, but I said the name somewhere and now they inundate my YouTube feed. And one of them claimed to be the world's largest regulated gaming site. And I was like, regulated? By who? by your by your accountants? Yeah, our accountants say we're regulated. We must be good. But no, these things seem like a bad idea from the very beginning.
My son-in-law is actually in the gambling biz, and and he just likes working the numbers, and so he'll find a sports book that is taking a bet on something really stupid, and it's usually not who's going to win the game, but there's something secondary or tertiary, and he just looks at the spreadsheets and he says, "This is a really stupid bet," and then he takes it. And I was talking to him about prediction markets, and he says he's really hesitant to get into prediction markets because when he's making money from DraftKings, it's a big corporation, and he's just gonna work them. But with Kalshi, you're taking the money directly from another person, so he doesn't like that as much.
Yeah.
And I mostly don't like that the people who are betting on this stuff are the people who are involved in it.
Yep.
I'll take the bet on when I'm going to go to the gym today.
It seems like, yeah, and it seems like there's a lot of insider trading type stuff going on. I'm reminded that there was an announcement at 3 a.m. a while back about something with the war in Iran, and oil prices shot up, but there was somebody in the Kalshi market that made like a huge amount of money, and then the statement was retracted 3 minutes later, and the markets readjusted, and somebody made like $3 million in that 3 minutes playing these prediction markets. And
Yep.
That's the kind of stuff that makes me say, wait a minute, hold on here. Who's running all this?
Well, I don't know who's running it, but it's a huge step forward for the insane gambler.
Yes. Gentlemen, we must protect our phony baloney jobs here. Somebody give that man a rumph. Rumph. Rumph.
War in Iran.
Yes.
And this is your personal opinion. Who's going to own the Strait of Hormuz, and who's going to have the nuclear material?
Iran's going to control the Strait of Hormuz.
Yep. And I think somebody else is going to get the uranium.
And I don't think it'll be America. I don't think it'll be us. I think it'll probably be an Arab country that somehow ends up with the ownership of the nuclear material. Yes.
What could possibly go wrong?
Let me see what Kalshi says. To me, this whole thing has been a boondoggle over oil prices. And it's all been about manipulating the oil prices. Now, and this is another place where Donald Trump doesn't want to hear the truth. He wants to claim that we have decimated their Navy and their military, and then their Navy shoots down a multi-billion-dollar helicopter. And when security advisors tell him that they have already refueled or refilled their rocket stock, that they've already been able to produce a massive amount of rockets that we hadn't counted on. The whole thing stinks like a setup from the very beginning, and it just keeps getting worse. And I think it just keeps getting worse because there was no reason to ever be in this other than to try to steal their oil. And I think Iran is more than capable and more than intelligent, and they're not a bunch of backwater desert Muslims the way the white Christians would like to think of them. They're an enlightened people. They are not just some dirt farmers, and they're going to protect what is theirs. And I think they have the right to protect what is theirs. If people started bombing Texas maybe that's a bad analogy, but
Louisiana.
Yeah, all right. Now we would fight for it. We would fight for the French Quarter. I don't know that we would fight, but sorry, all my Dallas friends. I apologize. Please don't take that out on me. But um, no, I think Iran maintains control of the Strait of Hormuz, and another Arab country ends up in possession of the nuclear material.
Yeah, I'm not gonna disagree with that. And by the way, Iran did not have control of the Strait of Hormuz before the war, so
Mhm.
there's an own goal.
Exactly. Um,
Is there any way to bring this back to metaphysics and something positive?
that's what I've been searching for in the last minute and a half or so here. um,
Well,
you
the
know,
39-day party for the World Cup is a continuous 39-day party at the Lemon Hill and Fairmount Park in Philadelphia. It's the biggest one. It's going to go through the entire World Cup time. And they're claiming that on game days there will be 10 or 15,000 people at the outdoor party, which is like free admission. On game day, you need to get a ticket in advance to get in. But it's jumbotrons and vendors and food trucks and all of that sort of thing. And it's supposed to be just a great
community.
festival. Yeah,
Yeah.
just a fun thing to do. And it's setting aside the personal inconvenience that it's right down the road from where we meet on Sunday mornings, and Sunday morning is the first game day in Philadelphia. So we'll see who shows up at our venue.
There you go. Might have some people looking for some air conditioning. Who knows? Uh,
Yeah,
but
you know.
you know, my feeling on our discussions today is pretty clear. There is something to be said about the prediction markets, because if you get enough people going in one direction, then the collective consciousness is going to move energy in that direction. Right now, we still have a lot of people in this country that want to believe Donald Trump's going to make America great again. Um, Sorry, inside news, he's not. However, I do believe there are more and more people that are starting to see the light, and more people that are starting to look towards the light, and more people that are ready to say we want something different. And that means no war in Iran. Uh, that means a recognition that the emperor is wearing no clothes. That means a recognition that unrestricted sports book betting online is not a healthy thing. That prediction markets are not going to make you rich. And they're probably not even going to pay your rent this month. I think that there are more and more people waking up to a greater sense of community. This party in the park that you're talking of, that more and more people are on that cusp of saying we're ready to live together in oneness, rather than continue to try to make right. There's still going to be a faction of white nationalism, but more and more people are saying enough is enough in that. And so I do every night have hope for the American people and for the American culture, because um, this shall not abide what we're in.
Yep. Amen to that. And when you take 180 religious identities away and leave 31 of them, um, it's not like those people stop existing.
Right.
And for anybody who's listening to us now, myself included, I mean, I don't know all 180 of the religious identities that were cut.
True.
Maybe they have something to offer. Maybe there's an opportunity for some curiosity. Maybe there's an opportunity to let's see what we have in common. Let's see what's going on over there. I heard a wonderful interview with a musician last week, and the guy grew up in Iran, and he is a trilingual, fluent in Persian, and in English and in Spanish. And when he writes songs, it's in whatever language fits the song. And the interesting thing that he said is that the really beautiful love songs always want to be sung in Persian because the language lends itself to that to such a great degree. It's like, this is somebody who doesn't have the horse in the race. The English is going to sell more. But, you know, sometimes it needs something that goes outside of the usual framework. So, yeah, there's an opportunity perhaps to consider that, maybe to embrace that, and going out on a limb, maybe to encourage that.
Get a little Rumi in your life. There we go.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. My favorite one. Out beyond ideas of right doing and wrong doing, there is a field. I will meet you there.
Exactly. All right, folks. That is, I think that is the perfect line to end on today. So thank you, Dr. Bill, for being with us here this morning. I look forward to you being back again soon. Everyone watching, stay tuned to New Thought Media Network throughout the day. The Joy Show at 1 p.m. with Reverend Barbara Jean, and I will be her guest today. So if you didn't get enough of me now, come see me when I put on my ministerial hat. And Barbara Jean will be back at 5 with the good news as well, and the fireside chat is at 6. So on behalf of everyone here on the New Thought Media Network, thanks for tuning in. Please like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, we wish you peace and richest blessings. Bye now.
And thanks for listening to this week's episode of Ministers Talking. We'll be back again next week with more commentary on current affairs, world events, and any other our ministers want to talk about. And if you found value here, please share our with your friends. Until next time, peace and blessings.